You guys, welcome to your week. I love this. It means it's been 2 weeks because I get to speak to my favorite person, the pop culture roundup with the one, the only, needing her opinions on everything that has happened in the past 2 weeks, even though I'm sure I'm going to forget what happened the week before this one. But there is so much to talk about. Welcome back, Sophie Ross. How are you doing, Soph?
Hey, what's up? My name's Satchel.
What's up? Oh, poor Satch. Okay, wait. Well, let's just jump into it. Katie's new boy toy, who's 10 years younger. He looks like a good-looking Kenny G. And I have nothing bad to say about Satchel, but didn't you just want to say that poor kid? Like, welcome to hell. Welcome to hell, Satchel.
Why was he literally Weird Al Yankovic? Like, why is his name Satchel?
Well, listen. I'm the kind of guy that was like, Satchel's a cool name, man. I wish my name was Satchel.
You would.
Wait. I don't think there's anything to bag about because the guy actually seemed like he was nice to Katie. The only thing I felt bad was I was like, welcome to this horrible group of people. Do not stay here too long or your life will be ruined. Like, honestly, just ruined.
He's in the next episode too. Like, how long does he stick around for?
I mean, what is like? Because when DJ James Kennedy was like, "Hello, I'm DJ James Kennedy," and he was all nice, and I was like, "Don't believe him, Satchel. He's gonna call you fat."
He's gonna call you fat man.
Yeah. Oh, Satchel with the big fat curls on his big fat belly.
Fat curls.
Oh my God! Did you see that DJ James Kennedy is on Watch What Happens Live on Wednesday? And guess who he's on with?
Tinks.
With Tinks. They both hate fat people. Tinks and DJ James Kennedy hate fat people. So this is a
very fat-phobic episode of Watch
Fat people at Coachella. Gross. Oh my God. Okay, so 2 episodes have passed, I think, since I talked to you last, but I guess we'll just jump right into Vanderpump Rules so we can get that out of the way. Where are you at in terms of exhaustion level, what you thought about the episode, and now playing everything that's actually happening and comparing it with what happened in the episode? And how in love with Howie Mandel are you?
Oh my God. Ew. Howie Mandel. I did see him. He was at a comedy club that I went to in LA like 2 summers ago. But that doesn't even matter. Howie Mandel.
Wait. Did you go to LA? Wait. Please tell me you went to LA just to see Howie Mandel.
For Howie
Mandel. Big Mandel fan over here. Huge
Mandel. Like, of all podcasts to go on, like Howie Mandel's, what was the other? Oh, that Kris Jenner Schwartz.
Yeah, because Kris Jenner was on Howie Mandel, and she was doing a bit, you guys, about her cleaning products. And so the clip was supposed to go viral, and it was about her squirting. And she was like, yeah, I guess I'm a squirter. And that is the last thing that would ever help selling any kind of cleaning supplies is picturing Corey Gamble making Kris Jenner just flood a bedroom. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, nice tactic there. But, oh my God. Yeah, like Howie Mandel. Haven't heard that name in years.
Who's Scheana? Who's this shit? Tom, I think you're a good guy. Can I shave your mustache, Tom? Your words on your mouth, your name's on everybody's mouth. Let's completely ignore any of the conversation and shave that mustache right off.
Did you watch What Happens Live on Thursday after Top Chef?
Yeah.
Tom Colicchio, I was dying that Tom Colicchio has never once heard of Scandoval until this very night on Thursday night of Watch What Happens Live. Like, how funny is that?
It's kind of like he lives a blessed life. Like, it really is truly amazing the people that do live in a bubble like Howie Mandel. But Howie Mandel, I just wanted to talk about him real quick up top because this is not a lot of people have this news. He fired his PR team last week. And he fired his PR team, you guys. And the PR team has nothing to do with the podcast. But it was like, and I'm like, Howie, this is what happens when he can't take responsibility for the fact that it was just a bad interview. And, now I think he's lashing out in other ways he potentially shouldn't. And now he's trying to get Lala on the show. And Lala wants to do it, of course, because Lala is just as thirsty as, anything. But now he's going to have Lala on the Howie Mandel podcast. It's like, dude, what, now you're going to be a big fan of Vanderpump because it was like the biggest downloaded episode you have?
That's so funny. I wonder how many downloads he got.
Well, on YouTube, I was checking, like, compared to his other videos, it, like, skyrocketed that first week. I haven't checked it
Wow.
since then. But it's just, like, it's just coming from I'm just being petty, but, like, from a podcaster that actually, like, if you have somebody on, you kind of, like,
Do your research.
do your research. But now that it was successful and now that he's, like, I'm going to, like, what if he's watched every episode now and asked Lala very pointed questions? Or he could have Randall on and kiss Randall's ass. Randall, from where I'm sitting, you seem like a good guy. You seem like a good guy, Randall.
Hi.
Oh.
Yeah, like what? That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even end up listening to it. Like, I literally just read recaps. I was like, I don't care about what someone who clearly hasn't watched the show. And apparently his daughter was with him and his daughter watched the show.
His daughter was the only one actually spitting any sort of facts, but she took a back seat, unfortunately, because Howie wanted to do, like, what he was picking up from Tom in the moment. And it was another thing where it was like Tom was able to present a case that we're seeing on the actual show now that still doesn't seem to be the truth. Because he's trying to say that there's two separate things. There's the affair and there's the ending of the relationship. He wants it to look like there's no combination of those two, when in reality,
no overlap.
Yes, but no, but like in reality, it's like I have a feeling he would have stayed with Ariana for a lot longer of a period of time, if not for the Raquel situation. I think the Raquel situation finally goes, what if I can get out of here and just start anew with this girl right here? Like, I think that's what was going on in his sick head.
Yeah, exactly. And you can kind of see, I mean, I'm riveted. Like, this is like a riveting season so far, obviously.
This and Succession are like great.
Oh my God, appointment television.
Yes.
And this past episode also, you can see that Katie kind of was picking up on it. Allie had seen them dancing at the Abbey. So, like, how surprised was everyone? Like, it seems like they actually kind of, people were onto them. Like, how surprised?
Well, I think onto them, but I think it was like, your behavior is shady. We don't have proof, but your behavior is shady. But then I want to point out, DJ James Kennedy, Allie was like, yeah, I saw them dancing. And DJ James Kennedy freaks out if anybody looked at Raquel. And he even said in that scene, he goes, yeah, I wouldn't worry about Tom Sandoval. No, they're just friends, but this Schwartz, that fat fuck. No. Like, he didn't even pick up on it. And Allie was telling DJ James Kennedy that it looked weird. And he just brushed it aside.
It's going to be an interesting last, 3 episodes?
I don't know, but I simultaneously want it to go on forever, but I really want it to end at the same time. And I just want everybody to, like, I guess, take stock where they're at. And by the way, they're casting right now this week. They're finalizing cast. They're finalizing cast for next season right now.
Oh, I thought you meant like they're casting new people for next season. And I was like,
they're
why?
They're like, if you cheated in a long-term relationship and lied to your partner on the daily, Vanderpump Rules is looking for you.
I'd be like, yep, sounds like me. Baby.
What? Well, no. So they are trying to figure out, I think, who will like film with who, and all of these kind of things that obviously would have to happen if we're going to have a show. And I think they're really figuring that out. So maybe with I think they're just having I think they start filming in like a month. So they need to really figure it out. And Tom Sandoval, did you see? He's off doing like Gymboree classes in the desert, learning how to shoot an arrow. Did you see that?
Gymboree classes.
Well, he's just like Gymboree classes for cheaters and liars. And
my God!
But do you know what I'm talking about? Did you see the video of him with the arrow, the archery?
He had his eyes closed, and he was like.
He goes, give me the power of the cheater. Give me the power of the cheater.
It wasn't even like a bullseye, but it was good.
It was close. It was good.
Eyes closed, but like he probably was like cheating. Like his eyes weren't all the way closed.
He was definitely cheating, Sophie. Maybe at this as well, yeah.
And whoever's filming is like, nice. Filming. Who is he hanging out? Who's hanging out?
Well, okay, so everybody said, "Oh, is that Raquel's voice?" And I really don't think it was, but I don't. Because if it was her voice, it'd be like, "Very nice. I can't even give a toast."
Yeah.
But it was also rock climbing. And I think at this resort wellness center, they have like rock climbing. But like, what? How did Tom Sandoval go from not posting on his Instagram pretty much at all, unless he was doing a band, like a show, and now all of a sudden he wants us to like he's making Fruit Loop necklaces with Kyle Chan. He's like rock climbing. Why the fuck do I want to see your journey, man? That's your journey. I don't want to see your shit. Like, why now? You want us to now, like, come back to you and, like, be cool with you and stuff, so now you're going to post all of your weekend activities?
What about the drama with the Miraval? What's it called?
The Miraval Resorts. They were like, they did the Vanderpump Rules theme song dialogue or the lyrics in one of their posts. And Sandoval was going to be there. I think where are they saying he's at now? I think Canyon Ranch, I think is where he's at now.
In Arizona, which is where Raquel's family lives. So people are like, yeah, okay, we know what you're doing.
I just think, it's just like, what? Like rock climbing and arrow shooting, like that seems fun and stuff. But like, is that what is that doing? Like, and also, wouldn't your therapist or wellness center maybe like get away from the social media, get away from the aspect of people judging your life? Like, just go radio silent. I don't have a lot of nice things to say about Raquel, but I do say, like, I'm so glad I haven't heard from her since that TMZ interview.
Yes. Yeah, like, go away. Maybe just like lay low for a little bit.
Yes. Why not? Because people, when you don't have anything for us to say, we just kind of peter out. Like even, and I use that as, remember when Armie Hammer disappeared for like a year and a half? And it was like probably the smartest move he could make, because we didn't really, but Sandoval, I think, is like really wanting to stay
in the spotlight.
I think he feels like he can win everything back. That like, come on, man, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. And failing to realize that essentially he might be good-hearted in his own, like, but he did something so awful to somebody that he professes love for, and he lied to a lot of his friends, even if they were catching on. Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't think he can accept the lust.
I think even the negative attention, if he's actually a narcissist, which I've seen a lot of speculation that he might be, then he's loving it. He's loving it, whether it's positive or negative attention. He likes everyone talking about him. It's starting to peter out a little bit. The season, it's okay. Who am I kidding? Like, we haven't even seen the reunion yet. It's going to be a topic of discussion until the reunion airs, at least. But I feel like it's like, going on Howie Mandel's podcast, like suddenly posting
one weird decision after another.
I feel like he's liking being the villain right now. Like, I feel like he's liking it. I don't know. I think he's, but you bring up a really good point that I think goes throughout pop culture now, is the idea of negative attention is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than positive attention. You're still getting the clicks. You're still getting the attention. He's just not used to getting it in a negative way. And he was able to kind of like push aside like the allegations of Miami girl. And I'm here to tell you guys, it wasn't just Raquel. I believe it comes out of the reunion that he did cheat with another woman as well. And I believe in his mind, he thought, okay, I can be with Ariana. I can, maybe have a couple one-night stands to satisfy my sexual needs, but I can stay with her. And then I think Raquel, he was like, oh, she makes me feel like a real man again, He was like obsessed with feeling like a real man for some reason. And that's where I think this all kind of exploded, because he went through so many steps, like a Dateline NBC husband, to hide every part of this truth from Ariana. And so he wanted to get out of it without Raquel being a part of this at all to Ariana. He thought he was going to have his cake and eat it too, and it all fell apart because he couldn't keep his phone in his pocket. He couldn't keep his phone in his pocket. He couldn't keep
honestly,
his phone in his pocket. It's like he couldn't keep his dick in his pants, but like it literally was his phone in his pocket.
Did you?
Yeah, and also it seems like he's like planting seeds on the show to make it seem like Ariana was this over thing, like trying to villainize her essentially.
But each time it fails. Did you notice that one conversation of like, she was like, hey, Tom, if we want to fertilize my eggs, you got to stop, maybe don't drink for 4 days. He's like, geez, I don't know, man. Oh, I have a lot of stress right now. And like Ariana was like speaking very normally and goes, hey, I'm sure I annoy you too, Tom. Like, and you could tell in his mind, he was like, fuck, this isn't working the way I thought it was. Like, he was really trying to make her look bad, and it just wasn't working.
And it doesn't work because Ariana is just a measured, mature person, unlike literally everyone else on the show.
And she's not but at the same time, Ariana's not a saint, nor would she profess to be one. But I will say, Ariana is on the up and up in a lot of these situations. And that's why I even think it's funny that she was getting any flack for her Coachella romance with the personal trainer. It's like, why would she ever get flack?
I'm loving it.
She's able to have fun. Let her have fun.
Yeah, let her have fun. And I feel like she's always, in terms of like conflict on the show, she's always handled conflict well. Like, she's always been, again, it's like she's not perfect, but she's always been a very measured and mature kind of voice of reason on the show. And Sandoval, I watched like the preview of next week's episode where Sandoval and Schwartz are like getting food at a pizza. And Sandoval's like, I don't know, man. I just feel like she like talks down to me sometimes, dude. Like he's like talking to Ariana, and Schwartz is like, yeah, I mean, that's hard when she's like really not valuing your opinion. And it's like, wait, Schwartz, wasn't that really your MO for your entire 5-year marriage with Sunday?
These guys, they have the same playbook, and they don't even realize it's like they're doing the same storylines. They're just switching the person. And then Schwartz, and this is where it gets really shady if Schwartz knew or not, because Schwartz is like, I got to tell you, man, I think she's got a crush on somebody else. I just get a feeling. And you could see Sandoval's stupid little smile like, hey, I bet it's me. Like you could just, they thought they were being so slick. And by the way, Tom Schwartz, shout out to Tom Schwartz for posting a photograph, like a very artistic photo of him and his dogs on Friday. He was like, hey guys, look at me and my dogs. Like trying to
it's not working, Schwartz. It's not working.
I mean, it's just like hysterical. These guys they're in their 40s. Like, dude, like.
This is like the most backlash that I've ever seen Tom Schwartz really get. And it didn't happen through him gaslighting Katie or being a horrible husband or any of the things that we thought it would happen for, or cheating himself. It's literally just the way that he has kind of carried himself this season in terms of pre-Scandoval and post-Scandoval, that the mask is falling.
Yes.
And it's crazy how the tides really turn on Schwartz. He was really able to get away with everything always. And after his appearance on Watch What Happens Live, after the last few episodes, James is bitching him out. We see that in the next episode. I was so excited.
DJ James Kennedy doing the Stassi Schroeder, throwing a drink directly on somebody. And I was like, yes.
It's so deserved for Tom Schwartz after the way that he's thrown so many drinks, including at his own freaking then girlfriend, Katie, in Orange Hair season 2.
Yeah, by Orange Hair. But don't you think that like Schwartz kind of at the same time lucked out, because it could have been so much worse for him if Scandoval hadn't have broken, because he would have been the big bad. He would have been the big bad for the season, and Lala would have been the big bad as well. And both of those people, like the amount people owe Tom Sandoval is amazing. From Jax and Brittany to these numbnuts. They owe everything to Sandoval, because it's really, it's so funny. We can't seem to like let two things be true at once. If somebody's a good guy, we need somebody to be a bad guy. And I'm like, there can be two bad guys. You don't have to champion Jax Taylor,
I can still dislike Lala while appreciating that she had a read on Raquel before anyone else did. I still her.
And by the way, Lala's very popular, but Lala just be out there saying shit, dude. I watched a video of hers from this weekend. It was like, let me tell you what I meant about calling Raquel a mistress. Like, she was like looking like she was doing Def Poetry Jam or something. She's like, the way she hits certain words. And she was basically, at the end of that episode, though, she goes, I know you are not a mistress, Raquel. I know that. So she read her, but at the same time, she read her wrong.
Yeah.
Lala read her from her ego,
Yeah.
and so she was in an upright, aftermath. But even in that scene, she was like, "You could never be a mistress, Raquel. I know that." Raquel annoyed Lala. Lala lucked out and turned out to be right that this girl is shady as shit, and I don't think anybody would argue. I'm even done with even kind of giving Raquel grace to be like, so confused. Like, that girl is like really a one-man wrecking crew in some ways.
She really is. With like, you see it this entire season, like the Oliver stuff, the Schwartz stuff, and now it's like Scandoval. Like, it really is like she is involved in all of the drama and all of the jealous wives and ex-wives.
Did you think they were trying to make Oliver Garcelle's son a character? Like, I was like, are they trying? Like,
I understand the point of that. Like, then they went on a date that lasted 2 seconds, and it was just Raquel bitching out Oliver. Basically, I was like, for showing.
I am upset at you. She was upset, but she never. You can't read her temperature. Like, she said she was upset, but by her look, there's nothing happening behind her eyes, so it's very interesting.
She's always like awkwardly smiling, and it makes me really uncomfortable.
It does. I mean, but Oliver, I think there was something where they potentially were trying to make him a cast member at some point, or maybe a Vanderpump Paris spinoff, because why keep doing that? You had Garcelle in, which like they brought a big gun in to even pump up Oliver, but I just think wrong time, wrong place for Oliver, because the Scandoval stuff broke, and do we really want another insane cheater on this show? Some people might say yeah, but who knows?
There's too much happening. We don't need to bring anyone new into the mix. We're good. Let's just focus on the task at hand.
Yeah. But yeah, Ariana's killing it. Katie was like calling out Sandoval and saying, well, you do love to hang out with Raquel at 1 a.m. at the Abbey. And Sandoval looked panicked. He's like, shut up, dude. You don't know, dude. Shut up.
Like, Lisa maybe clocked it. Like,
I generally don't think Lisa gives a shit about any of these people. Like, I think they're just like money to her.
I don't know. Yes, you're right. Like, I agree. Oh, sorry. I just got struck by the pretty sunset.
You guys, it's her like third week in her new apartment with her boyfriend, and the views are stunning, you guys.
I'm still getting used to the view. It's very pretty. But
wait, what area of town are you, by the way?
Lower East Side, downtown. And I was so sad because Christy from X Knows All, and Emily from It's Become a Whole Thing, and Tori from Ready to Be Petty, like so many of the podcast girlies were in New York this weekend. And
why didn't you go?
I was out of town this weekend. We ended up driving home.
Oh, another wedding.
No, it wasn't another wedding. We basically just have a bunch of stuff that we have nowhere to store in our new apartment.
Oh, speaking of that, Emily, I have that right here. She has this book coming out with Simon & Schuster called The Stuff I Hate Journal. So you know how they have journals where it's like you write all those things you're appreciative for? She won, and then it's like bad vibes only, guilty pleasure, and you write out like,
oh my God, I want a copy.
It's really cool. Like I am supposed to promote it, but it's just like time to complain about complaining. What's something you can't stand hearing people complain about? And then you're supposed to write a little paragraph. It's really cool though. I was like, it's like a nice little black journal thing that I think is coming out.
I want one.
Yeah, no, I'll tell her that we talked about it on the show. But yeah, like this, it says live, laugh, love, and it's crossed out. It says wine, scream, right. And I think that's great. I think that's awesome. I'm very happy for her. Yeah.
Congratulations, Emily. That's incredible. I want a copy.
Yeah.
List. I literally invented Yellow Jackets. If you don't remember, no one was listening to it before me. Yet who gets the screener?
Listen, I am a pop culture critic now. I am like everybody.
You do deserve it.
True. It's true.
But still.
I know. How blessed I am in this life is just, every day is just, I'm living a dream. Also, I was thinking about this. I was talking about you going to so many weddings with somebody. Maybe it was Maritza. Or Maritza was the one that pointed out, she goes, well, she's going to so many weddings. She's a lot younger than you. And I was like, oh my God, that's it. And I said, it's so funny. I said, I'm not getting any weddings anymore. I'm getting everybody sick around me. Like we're all like getting older, injuring themselves, getting divorced. Like there's no wedding. We're doing the opposite of the weddings. We're doing divorces, funerals, the whole thing.
You know what? Like I do have a lot of friends that are still single. So it's like I don't want the fun to stop. I want to keep going to weddings for the next decade or two. And I know that they're expensive and annoying sometimes, but like they're fun memories.
Open bar, free food, like dancing's fun.
I don't think that they're going to stop anytime soon. It's not like everyone I know is getting married at once. I think it's going to be like, for a while now. But we only have, I don't know, how many more do we have this year? Like 5 more or something.
Damn. It's a lot. I don't know if I have any. Yeah, I mean, that's just a lot.
I have like 15 weddings in 1 year. So to them, I like feel like it's not that much.
Damn.
I know,
just, it really is crazy to think about because then I'm like, yeah, you have to get a different outfit or you're wearing the same wedding outfit because then if you're in wedding pictures, they're going to see you in the same outfit in the wedding pictures.
My rule is that if I don't take pictures, I can rewear. And even if I do take pictures, honestly, if it's a different crowd, I'll rewear.
You just wear like a different necklace or like a conversation piece.
A necklace, like Stassi.
Yeah, that's it. Statement. Yes, a statement necklace. So, okay, moving on. Vanderpump Rules. There we go. Summer House, really briefly. Summer House. It's the same shit, different day. You got Lindsay and Danielle.
I have an actual question. Do you think that Summer House has even the slightest chance at getting canceled after the season?
No, because they're tied in now to like Winter House, and they are. But by the way, here's a little. I got confirmation that Schwartz did hook up with one of the below deck people at the Winter House. The stew, I think the chief stew. So that did happen, and I think that potentially is what caused the Joe unfollowing with Schwartz. But yeah, I don't think Summer House will get canceled because I think with Corey and Sam being together now, I think they will have a next season. Wow. But I do think they're going to make potentially some difficult casting choices. Carl and Lindsay, I think, will be involved, but I don't know to what capacity. I don't know. Like it's one of those things like Jersey where the show is so shackled by like Teresa and Melissa and Joey that it kind of ruins the rest of the show for some people. Right. And I think Summer House has the potential to get there as well, that it is so shackled by the old cast members from the very beginning. It's different than Vanderpump Rules.
Ratings have been really bad for them this season.
Really, really bad. And by the way, I watch every episode. I talk about it on the Patreon. I even put a full recap on the main feed last week because I think there's so much to talk about in that Lindsay-Danielle relationship. But it does get old, and I think you do sense that people are not tuning in like they should, unfortunately. But yeah, like this, I'm even starting to change about like how I feel about Danielle. Like I'm like finally going, Danielle's not in the right here. Like I understand why she's doing this, but she's really like and by the way, somebody sent me this stuff of Danielle commenting to other people like nasty things. Somebody sent me like her making fun of somebody's like photo
picture. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, that sucks.
It's not a good look. I also have a ton of empathy for just everyone involved because friendship breakups don't get enough credit for how hard they are. Like friendship breakups are arguably worse than breakups. Heartbreak. Like my most heartbreaking breakups that I can think of have been with friends. And like, I don't know, I feel for Danielle. She was going through it with Robert.
Yeah. Like, I don't think she realizes what she was going through at the time.
I think there was a lot of projecting happening. And yeah, I mean, it's all just like very sad. Like it's sad to watch. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a reconciliation based on, those comments where Danielle is still kind of like standing her ground in her comment section. It's like she still doesn't think she did anything wrong for her part. She still thinks that she is in the wrong or that she was wronged.
But that kind of makes you perfect for reality television. If you're not willing to accept what is going on in the actuality of that situation, then reality show is the bag for you. But I will say Lindsay's so stubborn and always has been that she's not going to back down either. And on Watch What Happens Live, Lindsay this past week was saying, hey, it'll depend on the reunion if Danielle gets an invite to our wedding. And I just don't, I still feel like Summer House is withholding some piece of information about Lindsay. because I just don't understand why everybody is so butthurt about everything Lindsay does. Because I'm like, Lindsay can be extreme, but I just don't see this amount of attention.
Did you watch What Happens Live with Paige and Sierra?
Yeah.
So I felt like they're so annoying. I actually turned it off, and then I saw a bunch of people reference the fact that Paige said that the 7.5 comment when she was asked like how sure she is that Craig is the one, and she said 7.5. So
yeah, by the way, I get so many comments about them not making it in regards to you and our opinion on this. I still get that like, looks like you guys might be right. Looks like Sophie might be right. Looks like because you've always held true to the fact that Paige and Craig are not going to be together.
I'm winning our bet.
But don't you think Paige is kind of a female Schwartz in some ways where she'll never do the breaking up, but she will make it almost impossible to move forward in that relationship because she'll be like, I don't want to leave my mom. I don't want to be like, and Craig keeps calling her bluff and going, well, I'll move to New York. I don't need Charleston. And she's like, oh, great, amazing. And then she'll find something else 6 months later.
I think that it's been a very convenient relationship for both of them in that they both get to be on like triple the Bravo shows by being together. So I don't know, but it's very clear to me that she is not like serious about their future because I don't know. It's like, again, I understand wanting your independence and liking being long distance, but like,
well, she has a great life.
But eventually you're going to think about the fact that, you know, you're ready to be together with this person all the time and like settle down or take the next step or whatever it is. Like eventually you kind of get there. And it feels like she is like actively doesn't want to get there, which is interesting. That she was like, I felt like he was going to propose to me and like I had to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, God, it was. Wouldn't you be so bummed if you saw your significant other in a talking head going, holy shit, I got scared I was going to get proposed to, and that is the last thing I want to happen.
Sad. It's so
and she goes, I guess I would have to say yes, but I wouldn't like it. And I'm like, that's horrible.
Craig always ends up in relationships with girls that end up just like hating him and being mean to him because he's so annoying and dumb. And they just get sick of it. It's the same thing. It's the same thing that happened with Naomi, that she was like, you're so annoying.
You're right. Naomi started making fun. And by the way, but then that's the Sandoval thing. Do we think Craig will ever cheat then? Because Sandoval's like, Ariana doesn't laugh at my jokes and agree with me sometimes, and it really hurts me. Like, is that a classic male thing that they all of a sudden feel stupid? By the way, Schwartz 2 weeks ago said he doesn't feel sexy anymore. I'm like, oh, we're so sorry, Schwartz, that the women out there haven't made you feel as sexy as you should feel, you know?
Yeah, Schwartz, like...
I wonder if Craig's cheating, though. Like, I wonder if he would ever cheat because he's not getting the extreme love. Like, he wants somebody to look at him like Raquel looks at Tom, potentially.
I think that he kind of is into it. Like, I think...
his kink is that. He loves it.
I don't know. I feel like he might be into the fact that, you know, with Naomi and Paige, he was kind of more into them than they were into him. And I feel like that just might be how he functions in relationships and might not like it when a girl is like super in love with him and all over him. I don't know. It's like all speculation, obviously. But either way, I think Paige... I say this a lot, that Paige is just too normal for reality TV. She's just like a normal person. Like I just
she's a shit stirrer though. You need that. She'll never let the camera focus on her life too much, but she is the first one to point out somebody else's flaws, and she is like kind of witty compared to say like Maya, and you know, like she is witty to a degree. So I think those kind of people.
Like she has like witty confessionals. That's not enough for me to like get on board when you literally don't bring anything to the actual like interactions that you have. I guess she sometimes starts shit. I don't know, but I always say that she's too normal. And I think
how quick do you?
And I think that she is too smart to know that to actually end up with Craig. I feel like she doesn't actually want a guy that's dumber than her, which she said multiple times that Craig is dumber than her. Like she doesn't want to end up forever with a guy that's dumber than her. Who does? You know?
I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there. I mean, I don't think they want it, but I think it just happens by default. But Paige also, that's the thing I keep saying, is that Paige admittedly so, this past episode, she admits she defaults to tears when things get too rough because she knows it'll shut down the conversation. Do you do that too as a tactic in your relationship? Like, I'll immediately turn on the tears if I'm uncomfortable in the conversation?
I'm trying to think if I've ever done that. Like,
by the way, you can't see her right now. She's starting to cry. Sophie's literally starting to tear up right now.
I need to manipulate this conversation. I don't even know how to make myself cry like on command. I don't have those Nick Viall like teardrops.
The teardrops, yeah. We used to sell at the acting studio. Nick Viall used to come in for acting class, and it was called, what was it? We called them tear sticks, and it was like menthol that you could put on the, you put a little bit on your finger in an audition. You would like right before the audition, you would like press it right here on your eye, and it would start the tear ducts like flowing, and so your eyes would start watering up. It's a really cool trick. I have a couple of tear sticks that I always hang on to, but it's really a nice little trick you can use to get those tears flowing.
To manipulate people.
Manipulate people, yes.
Did he get that like before he was on The Bachelor? After?
No, this was after. Because I remember him coming in specifically because he was getting a lot of opportunities with auditioning at the time, and he didn't really know how to act. And so he was doing that. I mean, now he's, got the huge podcast. But I remember that, he was interesting. Yeah, he was in a class, too, with one of the girls from The Hills, one of the Periphery characters. And I remember there was, like, paparazzi out our office once, and they got a shot of them together. And I was like
Stephanie Pratt? I feel like it was.
No, it wasn't Stephanie Pratt, but it was one of the Periphery characters. And I just remember thinking that was so funny. Yeah, you know what? It might have been. It was one of the Periphery characters. I just always thought that was funny. But, yeah. Okay. What's that?
Mean, it's not important. Just that Nick Viall is so gross, and he posted he was like happy celebrating Earth Day the right way, and one of the photos in the album is him grabbing his 22-year-old girlfriend's like ass.
No, he didn't do that and said that's Earth Day, did he?
Yes, he did. Go to his Instagram. He did.
It is funny, though. I will say he seems to listen. That dude has the career I want, and I think that's the sad thing. It's like, do I have to get on a shitty reality show just to make this show even more popular? It's like it's like
sad. Isn't it sad that when I think my boyfriend was asking me because we've been watching Vanderpump together. He was like, "So is Sandoval really rich now?" And I was like, being on a reality show can be very lucrative. You're on a reality show and then you get all these followers, then you get all these deals and podcasts. And for him, it's restaurants. And it's like, isn't that so interesting that some of the worst people in our society are rewarded through reality TV?
Yes. I mean, that's the whole, this whole show is based on that. It's so bad. Right. It's good. But the thing is, Sandoval, especially, this is the first time I think anybody's going to say this, but he's in a great position right now. You wouldn't think it, but he is not contractually obligated for season 11 of Vanderpump Rules. And you would never, because if this season, it was a great season regardless, but if none of this would have happened, he would have probably renegotiated his contract for maybe a hair more, like $10,000 more. Wow. And now he will, honestly, I don't know if they need him, but they're definitely going to want him. And if he can get Raquel on board in that, he is looking at a nice chunk of change, even more so than Ariana, even more so. He is the linchpin at this point in terms of season 11. And, what if it's just him, all his things are him, archery and climbing and things like that. He turns into a survivalist. He lives in the backyard of SUR the dumpster.
What is he going to do if he can't get manicures?
Dude, did you see that? He was like, I'm not going to drive around with chipped fucking nails, dude. Because Schwartz was pissed.
Well, talking about the fact that his restaurant that he wants to open is literally still under construction, basically. But God forbid he get his hands a little bit dirty and not have a perfect white manicure every second of his life.
I know we keep coming back to this, but it pisses me off. He literally goes, this restaurant doesn't need to be A+. If you're a performer, you are happy with B+. And I'm like, what? Wait, you think you would ever, Beyonce would be happy with a B+ Sandoval? How? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Absolutely
not good for my heart. Okay, in other news, explain to me why this Sofia Richie's wedding is getting so much attention this weekend. What's the magic with her? I know she used to date Scott Disick when she was really young and he wasn't.
And now her husband is I guess he's a
music executive.
Yeah, like he's like in the biz. He's in the industry.
Elliot Grange is his name.
Yeah,
Elliot Grange.
He's super wealthy and apparently comes from money. And I don't know. I was actually talking about Sofia Richie the other day because it had been brought to my attention that her wedding content was about to get really good. And I was scrolling through her Instagram and I was like, I love that Sofia Richie doesn't pretend to like have a job. She doesn't pretend to work really hard and like be a serious actor. Like she's just like, I'm rich. I'm a socialite. I'm fashionable. This is my life. And it's like, that is.
But I love that you're giving her credit. I love that you're giving her credit. You know what I think so special about her is that she's proud. She doesn't work. Like, I love that is a positive in your book because so many people do bullshit on the other side. So we're rewarding her for just being herself, which is somebody that doesn't work and looks good.
It's so easy. It's so easy. Just be like rich and glamorous and like, it's fine. Don't pretend that you're the serious actor who's gotten all of these roles, like all through hard work, like Lily Rose Depp. It's kind of like it could have gone a Lily Rose Depp route for her. And instead, Lily
Rose Depp, by the way, is the lead in the new HBO show, The Idol, from The Weeknd and Sam Levinson from Euphoria. And it's supposed to be, I can't tell if it's going to be like there was an article saying how much of a mess it was, but then the previews look okay, but it's super expensive. So I'm curious if this girl can even act.
It does not look good, first of all. Sam Levinson is a menace to society. The acting looks bad. The writing looks bad. The Weeknd's acting is so
The Weeknd can't act. That's what dude. The Weeknd loves actors so much, and that's why I think each one of his albums he has a different character he portrays. But he never I've been working with this these thoughts lately about how reality stars, some people pop on screen and some people don't. Doesn't make them bad people or not talented. Some people just pop on screen. The Weeknd, to me, his music pops, but sometimes I don't think he is exciting to watch as some other performers. That's just my personal taste. But his acting, even in the clips they've released from The Idol, it's just, I'm really curious how it comes off to everybody else.
Who are reality stars that you think pop on screen and don't?
Well, perfect example. I mean, the easiest example is like B characters like Chris from Summer House, Peter from Vanderpump Rules. You know, like they don't pop. They we kind of joke about them. It gives us a little kind of banter to talk about, but they could never really have a storyline or you're starting to see. And by the way, they probably are some of the most entertaining people in their actual lives, or people like they're magnetic, but you put certain people on screen, the camera just gravitates towards people like Jax or people like Lala, people that really pop in a talking head. And it doesn't make you not talented or a great person. It just, the camera likes what it likes.
That's so interesting. You're right.
But don't you agree? Okay, yeah. I really.
Wait,
and I don't.
About Jax and Brittany's new show.
Dude, okay, so I've only been sent clips and I have not watched it, but I will say, in all fairness, it has been overwhelmingly positive in what people have told me about it. And I just wanted the opportunity for Jax to like talk about his, like his mind as a cheater, which I know he doesn't do. But people have said it's really entertaining. This is on Peacock, you guys. You can watch along with Jax and Brittany.
Are they watching the current season?
The current season. So like last week's episode, the week before. And they also cut in, I guess, clips from previous seasons with Jax. And then you have Brittany like, Jax, that's not true, Jax. What you do, Jax? That's not true. Jax. And so people are kind of, but I will say they even lied in that because they were like, finally, we can tell you about the TV project we've been working on. And I'm like, you liars. You just got offered that TV project like 3 or 4 weeks ago. This wasn't in the planning stages. This was literally Scandoval happened. Everybody's eyes are on anything Scandoval. And so they offered you that. And, by the way, this is working out enough where I would have said no to Jax and Brittany coming back. And I don't personally want it. But you never know, man. They might just pull them back in.
Honestly, I don't hate the idea of it as much as I used to, but I will say and I have not watched the new Watch with Jax and Brittany because But you're making me kind of want to. But when they were in watching,
dude, the people writing me in my group says they make me want to watch it. I was like, I have to fucking watch this thing.
I feel like it could be funny, but like Jax and Watch What Happens Live, like everyone being like, he's changed. He's just like a chill dad now. It's like, do you know this man? Did you watch this man for 10 years?
We never learn anything. We as a society do not learn.
And Jax literally says that everything that and this was on Watch What Happens Live. You remember this a couple weeks ago. He was like, I was right about literally everything I ever said. Like, he was right about literally everything he ever said, you guys. Case closed. Jax has never been wrong in his entire life. It's like, that is, and I guess that is like classic entertaining Jax, but it's also like so frustrating to watch when you literally just want to like throw something at him. You know what I mean?
Well, but also what is so entertaining about him, and to the discerning viewer, you'll pick up on it, but like the majority of people won't, because people genuinely believe people and take them at their word. But Jax will just flat out lie. He will make up things. He'll be like, he was on Watch What Happens like live. He's like, Schwartz told me that, he knew way before August and all that. Bray goes, I didn't know that, Jax. Why didn't you tell me that, Jax? Jax, what are you talking about? And he was like, yeah, I talked to her. Like, and so he'll just make up shit that he thinks sounds good, and whether it be true or not, who cares to Jax? I think it is but it is funny. I just think be careful what you wish for, because the world that they come back onto that show, you're going to come back to that show, and that show is like a witch's cauldron. Bad things come from that, and Jax would have the opportunity to ruin his life again. And I think it's too tempting for people like Jax, where I just think it would put him in a really bad position that, it's just think about long term. Like, it'd be nice to make money and be, on a hit show again. But think about what you were on that hit show to do in the first place. And you wrecked your life a half a dozen times. Why would you even risk that at all? Because you risk your family then. And you really have a real family.
You make a good point. You make a good
fucking
point.
Killing it today. Okay, wait. Back to Sofia Richie. She did look beautiful. Lionel Richie, her dad walked her down the aisle. My mom, Becky Bailey, loves Lionel Richie. Like, anything Lionel Richie or Rod Stewart, my mom is all like. I've seen Lionel Richie so many times live in concert. Kills it. But she looked beautiful. I mean, I don't know there's much to say. She just looked great.
It was in the south of France. She is obviously very wealthy. His family is very wealthy. So just a very expensive, glamorous wedding. She wore like all Chanel. I think that she has some sort of like deal with Chanel maybe. But very just expensive and glamorous. And she looked beautiful. And I think that people are also very happy for her that she is getting this like happy ending after like the years of dealing with Scott Disick. Which, yes, totally.
Well, okay, so you're in New York right now. Did you get invited to this thing at all with Taylor Swift's new girl crew? She was walking the streets of New York with Gigi Hadid, Blake Lively, the Haim sisters from the band Haim, and they were all just walking the streets of New York. Were you invited to this and couldn't make it, or I was thinking about you?
Yeah, they were texting me like that morning. Out
of town, girl.
I was like out of town. But they were texting me that morning in the group chat. I was like really sad to miss it. But wait, did you hear what Demois posted a clip from her podcast, which I don't listen to the podcast, but it was interesting. It was about how all of these friends, after they meet up with Taylor, keep unfollowing Joe Alwyn.
Dude, that was my story. That was my next story for you. Is that like, what is going on? All these.
So what Demois said on her podcast was that apparently Taylor found out about Joe breaking up with her through other people. He started telling people that they were broken up before he even told Taylor. So she found
Classic Sandoval.
Yeah, she found out about their breakup like after, everyone else did, which is fucked up. So I think that's the fucked up thing that happened is that and it kind of reminds me of, do you remember like the Matt Damon and Minnie Driver breakup? Do you remember that? Or am I just like,
that is an oldie, but a goodie, man. How do you like them apples? Wow. You bringing up, that's a deep cut.
A deep cut. How you like them apples? I see what you
Holy
did there.
shit.
Yeah, so basically Minnie Driver said that Matt Damon like announced that they had broken up on a show before he had actually broken up with her. It was something like that. So it's like, yeah.
And didn't he start dating? Was that like he dated Winona Ryder right after that, or was it? It wasn't Gwyneth, or he like because Matt Damon back in the day, you guys, he was like him and Ben Affleck were like destroying Hollywood in terms of like dating women, but it wasn't the pressure cooker situation it is now because we didn't have the internet as hard as we do now. So they were like laying just wreckage to Hollywood starlets right and left. But yeah, I totally remember that. The stars that have unfollowed Joe Alwyn though is the Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have unfollowed. Jack Antonoff has not unfollowed yet, but there's a whole list of people, and I'm like, this is wild because to me, unfollowing somebody on Instagram and not just muting them is such a move, and especially when you're in your 30s, it's like. Then that's what I was like. It has to be. Then I was like, oh God, something really bad must happen. He must have cheated. But you're saying Demois said he just was telling people about the breakup before he had told Taylor. So that's why the unfollowing is happening.
Right. Which I think is still a shitty thing to do, is to break up with someone through
of course.
Like,
but like, really do you think Joe's bummed that like Blake Lively doesn't follow him anymore? Do you think he's like, no, not Blake?
He should be. I would be really upset if like all of the famous people that I had met over the years like unfollowed me because they like my ex-girlfriend better. Yeah.
Dude.
Like, sorry.
And
but yeah.
Do you think Taylor like calls each girl up individually and says, let's hang tonight? Like, and who are the girls that couldn't go? Oh, but Lena Dunham unfollowed Joe Allen. But like, I just wonder if you turn down a Taylor Swift invite, do you ever get invited again? Or is it just like one and done? She's like, we're hanging out tonight.
I don't think that you can turn down a Taylor Swift invite. Like, yeah. I don't think anyone would.
You drop everything.
Like, you drop everything. Exactly. Ugh.
And I think people would understand, like, even if you were the one getting married, like Sofia Richie was getting married this weekend. Taylor goes, Sophia, I'm going out tonight. I think Sophia should have postponed her wedding for the hangout. Right?
Yeah. Yes.
You're like, yes.
I would.
Would you? I would hang out with, like, that's the other thing though. If you hang out with Taylor too, you got to be aware of not to get her too shit-faced because she's doing stadium shows. Imagine if you like made her do too many shots and then she had to cancel a concert because you made her do like a Jaeger bomb or something like that. Like, it would be so much pressure to hang out. It would be so much pressure to hang out with her, don't you think?
Yeah, that actually, I was watching clips from the Eras tour because that's all I'll be able to do is watch.
I've seen the whole concert on TikTok now. I've seen the whole concert.
Yeah, it's really crazy. Like, it's a very labor intensive show. Like, she is all over the place. Like, lots of
3 hours.
Yeah, like that's a lot. Like, good for her. I would not be
one of the.
That's why she's a performer. That's why she's a billionaire.
Dude, one of the listeners, Bridge Doherty, her and her daughter went to the Tampa show, and they had 2 extra tickets, and they gave them to me, and I couldn't use them because I was with my mom. And but it was like the coolest thing anybody's ever done, and like
so
it was,
nice.
It was so nice. I was just like, I really want to see her. So I'm looking at LA tickets. I don't know if I'll be in LA or Arizona, and she's already done Arizona, but like the LA tickets, I don't think are like till August, and like I'm talking single tickets for like shitty seats are like $1,200.
Yeah.
And she's doing 5 shows in LA. $1,200.
Isn't that crazy? Like,
it's crazy. Like, but I don't have kids and I don't, like maybe I have a credit card. Anyways, real men go to Taylor Swift. Coachella though. Second weekend of Coachella is happening right now as we speak. Do you follow any of this stuff? 2 things that happened this weekend that I wanted to mention that I feel are so gross. Well, the first thing is that Jeff Bezos and his little arm candy Lauren Sanchez, don't kill me, Jeff, for saying that, and Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble all came to Coachella on Friday to watch Bad Bunny's set. Could you imagine, like, just totally tripping out on Molly next to Jeff Bezos? Like, that would just totally give me a bad trip.
So funny.
Yeah, no, I would talk loudly about how Amazon. I'd be like Amazon Prime, like Jeff. Yeah, and then Kris Jenner's there. I'm like, Kris, are you squirting tonight? Yeah.
Ew. Oh my God.
Sorry, that's what Kris Jenner said.
That would be my nightmare blunt rotation, honestly.
Well, mine too, but that was horrifying. But the cool thing about Coachella was that there's an artist, Labyrinth, who does all the music for Euphoria. Really talented musician. You can watch all of these things on the live stream. Zendaya came out, and guys, I have never heard applause. This crowd went fucking nuts. I didn't get to go to Coachella either weekend, but I watched the live stream, and it is such a joy for me. I love live music so much. And Coachella, gets a bad rap and all that stuff, but I'm telling you, it is so fun if you're with the right people, and there's so much good music.
I've never
Dude, it's such a good hang.
I know it's such a scene, and it's an influencer thing now, but it's I would love to go.
It's so fun.
The live music thing. I love live music also. I've always loved going to Gov Ball, which is a New York music festival.
Totally.
Coachella.
No, but I believe it's now the same. It's the same people who do Coachella Governor's Ball. It's Golden Voice, I believe. And did you follow the Frank Ocean stuff at all last week?
Oh my God, I feel bad for him because it's obvious he's
why?
going through some shit, but I also feel worse for the people that were at Coachella that were really excited to see him, and he was extremely disappointed.
Oh, so I was waiting for the live stream.
His brother passed.
He canceled the live stream. Yeah, in 2020, his brother Ryan passed away, and he told a very powerful story about him and his brother had a lot of great memories, and he would get such a kick out of him playing Coachella. He had passed away, unfortunately, in 2020, which is just so horrific. But I will say, though, it almost discounts a lot of the other artists there that have also lost people and still found. And if you're not in a place to perform, it's one of those things is that, and Frank Ocean is very mysterious. He's done this his whole life, but he was getting paid $4 million per weekend to do this show. He had a whole ice rink. He had all of these skaters. And at the last minute, the day of, he says no. But then it came out later in the week that he supposedly fractured his leg in 3 places, which if you know a fracture in a leg, you wouldn't be able to move on it at all. And he was out there skipping and jumping. It seemed like kind of trying to make excuses. Yeah, so Blink-182 and then Fred again, Fortet, and Skrillex have taken over the headlining slot. And I can't wait. I hope it's on the live stream tonight. I'm going to totally watch it. But I felt bad for all those people that were I was so excited to watch it on the live stream. So I was watching shitty TikTok videos, and it was just a clusterfuck of a performance. And it's like Tom Sandoval. It's no, man, performers out there usually give A+ stuff, and his voice is so powerful that it was such a bummer that he couldn't really live up to any sort of expectation for him.
I know. It felt, it seemed very shitty on his part. And I know a lot of people were disappointed and paid a lot of money just to see the headline. You're the headliner. You're the headliner.
This is
why a lot of people are there. So yeah.
Well, you want people that want to be there. If you're there, you want to watch people that want to perform. You're not there to feel bad of I guess he doesn't want to perform for us, even though we paid thousands of dollars to be here.
And think about all the people that would literally murder someone to headline at Coachella.
People are begging. DJ James Kennedy would love that. As we start winding down here, this goes way too quick, you guys. I do want to bring up a story that I found very important. Speaking of Matt Damon, I don't know, did you hear there is this girl, she was an extra on a Beverly Hills Housewives. Her name's
oh God.
Freddie or Chetty Mellencamp. I don't know. She's a guest star on Tamara's podcast from OC. And she brought up a story on Jeff Lewis's show on Sirius that she was alluding to having slept with Matt Damon at a certain point. And I don't know how bad Teddy
that he ghosted her. They had a one night stand and then he never talked to her again. It's yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, also, do we really think that? I don't want to call Teddy a liar, but do we think that really happened? And also, it could have been a lookalike, and also, what year was this? Because this was pointed out to me. Was this still when Freddie was struggling with her weight? Was this when like, you know how Freddie like lost all her weight and all in and all that stuff, but she, you know, that was part of her storyline on the show was she was a very fuller sized woman. Was that when she was fuller sized when she slept with Matt, or was that later? Because Matt Damon's been married now for like 15 or 16 years. So like what year has this happened? And like, so I'm so curious about more of the details of this story and like, you know, like I just want to know more. I'm just want to know more. That's it.
She's so full of shit.
She's all in on all shit. I don't know. And then also Emily Ratajkowski. You guys. She made out with Harry Styles in Japan and really upset Olivia Wilde. I had somebody that was close friends with Olivia Wilde give me some of the inside scoop a couple weeks ago, saying that Olivia Wilde and Emily, like Olivia Wilde confided in Emily Ratajkowski about her feelings for Harry, and that her and Harry still FaceTime all the time, and like sexy FaceTime Olivia and Harry, and said it was a complete betrayal what Emily did because they literally had talked about the feelings that were still there. And so then Emily's in Japan and starts making out, and then Emily in total Emily fashion writes this essay about how she feels bad for Olivia Wilde having to relive this moment because us, the public, you know, put it out there. And I'm like, Emily always seems to write these really heady pieces about female when it's like her own behavior. It's very Scandoval to me because it's her own behavior that got her into a mess that she really kind of betrayed a friend in a sense. And she would rather than point the finger all of these other directions of like, yeah, it's bad, but what's worse is everybody carrying this story.
Where did she write this essay?
Finding it right now. I was reading parts of it today. Emily Ratajkowski.
Okay. Wait, I'm finding.
You see it?
Yeah. Oh my God, she's so annoying. She's literally so freaking annoying. I'm sorry.
The quote is, "I feel bad for Olivia Wilde," which is like, girl, feel bad for yourself. And she's talking about like, listen, I went from one long relationship to the other. I'm in a dating phase, which is amazing. But does a dating phase mean you kind of betray actual friends that have confided in you about the actual relationship? It's like getting insider information and like selling stocks when you shouldn't. Like you literally have inside information about Harry Styles and you're using that to make, and by the way, Harry Styles also just, he's a typical dude. Like he shouldn't have done that either if he was still flirting with Olivia Wilde and stuff.
She's okay. So it was in an interview with Spanish Vogue. She's so annoying. I'm sorry. Like she's so annoying because, you know, she's like, I didn't expect anyone to care.
Like, shut up!
Shut up. You're literally doing it for attention. We all know that you're doing this for PR and it's working. It's like Pete Davidson, Eric Andre, Harry Styles. It's working. Great. People are talking about you every single second more than ever before. Like, great. Totally. But don't act like you didn't expect there to be like so much interest. Like,
yes, what? Like Harry Styles is one of, if not the most famous dude on the planet last year. You know, like he is somebody with all eyes on him. So of course you knew in some capacity this would travel. Like you just knew, and you also saw that a camera was there. I know you're like, this girl's smart enough. She's dumb when she wants to be, but she's smart enough to write all these essays and do interviews about like female, like the female psyche and all of this stuff. And I'm like, dude, take the loss. Like, I mean, I just don't. And Emily also has that thing where it's like, she also did an interview a couple weeks ago. She's like, why I gave up acting. And I'm like, you gave up acting because you weren't good. Like, have you seen her in Gone Girl? She wasn't that good. She was like the worst part of Gone Girl.
She was so bad in Gone Girl. And then I watched another movie. It was kind of like The Rental. Remember when they're in an Airbnb, but it's with her and Aaron Paul. And they're and they're in an Airbnb where like the host is actually watching them. And she is so bad at acting. I'm sorry.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Some people pop on screen and some people pop on screen and acting and some people don't. Emily pops on modeling photos. But Emily also, for me as a dude, falls trapped to that same thing that the Kardashians do, where I've seen her so much in a bathing suit that it ceases to do anything for me because I'm like, yes, those are nice boobs and butt. I have seen them so much that, I mean, and by the way, I'm not an idiot. Like, of course she's beautiful. I just don't have a physical response to her anymore, which now that I'm saying this out loud, it's gross. But I have the same thing as the Kardashians. I just don't physically, like Kim can post all the photos of her new face she wants. I have no reaction to them anymore.
It's just so funny to me. Like, it's just I don't know. I just feel like the whole Emrata's stance on so many things, it's so like contradictory of how she acts on social media. And I know that we've talked about this before, but I just think that she's so annoying. And it's like, oh, I don't know.
That just bothered me all over it, so I had to mention it. Finally, what are you watching? What should we be watching, Sophie? You always are watching something and kind of turn us on to other shows. What are you guys watching this week or last week?
I have been told by many people that I need to watch Jury Duty. I have not started.
That's what I was going to tell you.
So many people have told me that I would love it, so I need to watch that. I can't remember if we talked about, when we talked about Beef, we were talking about wanting to watch it, and I watched it and loved it, and that was before
I watched it.
Controversy has happened. But
the David Joe controversy. The last episode didn't lose me, but it had built up such this beautiful progression. So I understand the last episode. It just didn't, like, some of those episodes just killed me. And David Cho, who is one of the actors in this, has a controversy because he went on a podcast and said he had forcibly got sex off a woman, which, trigger warning, the word is rape. And he talked about it on a podcast in 2012. And he now says that he was making up stuff for the podcast, which, listen, I do a podcast all the time. Like, I don't know if I would ever make up, not like that.
Very detailed story of raping a Black woman.
It was so bizarre. And he's taken down the clips, or there were clips everywhere, but he has the copyright to it. So he filed copyright claims to get him down. But then Stephen Yen and Ali Wong, who have created or produced Beef, which is just excellent on Netflix, they came out and said, he's learned a lot. This was, and backing his story up that this was a made up fake thing. And I know a lot of people were disappointed in that. And it just sucks because Beef is a really great show. I really enjoyed it so much.
It is. I was thinking about it for many days after finishing it. And it sucks that this is kind of overshadowed. And I know that people are very disappointed in Ali Wong and Stephen Yoon, and everyone's very disappointed in their response, and I totally understand that. I totally understand it not feeling comfortable watching it now, but I thought it was just such an amazing show that I kept thinking about for days afterwards. And I'm trying to think of what else I've been watching. Oh my God, what else have I been watching? I don't know.
Well, we got Below Deck Sailing out on Monday. I binged Jury Duty, which you can get on Amazon Prime, you guys. It's through Freevee, which is an app from Amazon Prime, but all you have to do on Amazon Prime is put in Jury Duty. It is 8 episodes. It is so bingeable. I have 2 of the actors on this week from Jury Duty, and I went because I used to be in acting class with one of them, and it is so well done. It is not mean-spirited, but it is hysterical. You will love it. Then, of course, Vanderpump Rules, Summer House, and I started watching the final season of Better Call Saul because it's finally on Netflix, and I've been enjoying that. And I think that's it. But I got to finish Girls Trip, which I hear peters out, but I was really enjoying Girls Trip. And Jersey, I'm watching, but I'm so annoyed with Jersey completely. They filmed a reunion this past week, and supposedly Teresa loses her shit on everybody, so we'll see. But I'm just tired of the whole Teresa, Joey, Melissa. Girls Trip, did you finish it?
Yeah. Giselle, there's so much to say. There's so much to unpack.
And is Leah as annoying as everybody says she is, or does she end up looking good?
She was. I really didn't think she was. I think that she actually was getting kind of bullied by Giselle and Portia. And I was definitely Team Candy and Whitney Rose, which I'm usually not a Whitney Rose fan, but Candy and Whitney Rose were my duo that I really loved on this season.
Thanks for being my friend, Sophie. I appreciate you. And also Real Housewives of Atlanta premieres it premieres in May. So we'll be talking about that as that gets closer. And I think that's it. I mean, the Super Mario Brothers movie, did your boyfriend make you go see that with him?
What if he did?
He made you watch the superhero movie, so I thought maybe he wanted you to go see Super Mario.
Oh my God, no, he really wants to see John Wick 4, even though I haven't seen the first 3 John Wicks, which I know is weird, but
they're all on Peacock. They're all on Peacock.
All about a dog dying. And
the first one, yeah.
That's sad.
I mean, it's not, yeah, it is sad, but that's what gets him so mad to wreak havoc on the underworld, you know?
Was it worse? Because my boyfriend keeps
it's
wanting
really
to
good. It's good.
Quick. Okay.
It's good. Keanu Reeves is great. Like, no, you know, it's like a normal actor would not be able to pull it off, but he completely does. I totally digged it. Sophie Ross, you guys. We didn't even get to talk about Jonathan Majors, but we'll save that for as all that stuff comes out. He's just in career free fall, and I think, you know, his manager and agents dropped him this week, so I have a feeling Marvel's going to drop him as their big lead pretty soon. Yeah. But bad situation there. Sophie, what's going on with you? What should we be keeping an eye out for as you start nesting and getting more ensconced?
I'm still nesting, getting settled, and just trying to not have a panic attack every day of my life because of moving stuff still. So it's coming together, but yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, getting settled.
Yeah.
But
okay,
guys, love you, Ryan.
Love you.
Love you.